Hello, and welcome to the video lecture series brought to you by St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. We're discussing the subject called Programming for Problem Solving using the language C. And today we're going to start with loops. We have earlier in the last lecture we have seen the one conditional statement called if else, and we have seen the if else ladder and how to use those if else's. Now today we're going to see our first encounter with the looping. Okay, and the first loop we're going to see will be the while loop. Now looping is like doing something again and again and again until a particular condition is satisfied. Okay, so suppose you want to add or you want to find the power of uh, 2 raised to 4. Okay, so how do you calculate that in mathematics? You will multiply 2 4 times within itself. That is 2 multiplied by 2 equal to 4 multiplied by 2 equal to 8 multiplied by 2 equal to 16. So there is one task that we have repeated again and again and again. That is, we have multiplied 2 with itself. Okay, so we are performing the same task again and again, and we're performing that task until a particular condition is satisfied. And that condition is we will initiate a variable which will have a value equal to 4, and every time we multiply 2 with itself we are going to decrement the value of that variable. That is, when 2 is multiplied by itself we are going to decrement it by 1. The 4 will decrement to 3, then next time it will decrement to 2, then next time it will decrement to 1. Okay, so I've got the point. And the condition we will set is until and unless the value of, let's say, variable is named as I is greater than 1, we will go on doing multiplying the 2 with itself. So at the starting, 2 will be multiplied by itself, that is 2 multiplied by 2 equal to 4. I will be decremented by 1. Okay, the value of I is now 3, and initially it is 4. Now next we'll again multiply it by the same number with 2. That is, earlier it was 2 multiplied by 2 4, now it is 4 multiplied by 2 8. We will again decrement it by, again decrement the value of I by 1. Now it has become from 3 to 2. Next we'll again do that. Okay, so in that way you can find the power of a number. Don't go into the mathematics. The main focus here is what is looping. So looping is performing a specific task again and again until a specific condition which you have specified is met or not, that condition is satisfied or not. So let's go back to the slide. Now, this is your basic structure of while loop. Okay, now this green colored palette here, this is your actual syntax of while loop. Now how you will start the while loop? While loop is started by writing the keyword while with a small w, lowercase w, and then the brackets in which you will pass the condition. It is same as like if else. In with the if keyword you will pass a condition. If that condition is true, okay, then you will go inside the while loop, you will perform the task, and if condition is false you will skip the whole loop body and the control will be switched to next statement after the while loop, exactly next statement after the while loop. So we'll keep on revolving in this while loop until this condition is satisfied. Okay, like in the example that we have just spoken about, suppose you want to multiply 2 by itself until the value of a variable which is actually initially 4 is greater than 1. So while I is greater than 1, let's say result is equal to 2 multiplied by 2, or result is equal to result multiplied by 2. And as you can see in the red marks here, I have written updation. Updation means after going through one loop of while, that is one pass of while loop, that is executing statements one time is called one pass or one iteration. So after going through one pass of this while loop, we need to change the parameters of the condition. Okay, that parameter change in the condition is called updation, and the updation is actually that we are going to decrease the value of I by 1. It could be anything, any condition you want. But if you don't update the condition, this condition here with the while keyword will never go false. And if it never go false, you will keep on revolving in this while loop. You will never get out of this while loop. Let me again remind you, you will get out of this while loop only if this condition comes out to be false. Okay, this is a conditional statement. It can be either true or false. Okay, so while this condition is true, you will go through this loop. You will perform these tasks. You will reach here. Again, the control will switch to while loop. It will check the condition. If condition is true, we will go inside the loop. We will perform the task, perform the statements that are written here. Those statements will be executed. Again, we will reach at this parenthesis. The control will again go there. It will again look for condition, and this will go on. This will go on forever if this condition remains true. So we have to find a way to make this condition false at a time at which we want our loop to be terminated. That is, if I want to multiply 2 3 times by itself, then I must make my condition as such that after 3 passes of the while loop, this condition will become false. This condition will become false. Okay, and if this becomes false, the control of the application will switch from this line directly to the statement after this while loop. It will not execute any of the statements written inside the while loop body. Okay, so if this condition is true, you are going to execute these statements again, or compiler is going to execute these statements again and again. And if this condition become false, it will switch the control over to the next statement after the while loop. And this condition will switch from true to false due to this updation. I will show you how you are going to write this updation, and I will also show you what will be the consequences of this update if you don't update this. Okay, so I think you have got the idea how we can write the for loop. So let's get ahead to the IDE and try to solve one question there. And I think by doing this you will get the first hand idea of how to write the while loop. So let's start writing. And we'll go inside the main now. Okay, so I will initialize a variable called int, let's say a equal to 5. Sorry. And I will also initialize a variable called result, and I will initialize its value equal to 1. Okay, now I want to find the value of 5 factorial. As you know, what is a factorial in mathematics, you must have read it in your 10th or 11th class, that factorial of 5 is actually 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. This is 5 factorial. Okay, if you want to find out a 6 factorial, it will be 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. So in that way you will move on. So you can see we are multiplying again and again and again. So we are doing a particular task again and again and again. So we can write the result equal to 1 multiplied by 5, then result equal to result multiplied by 4, then result equal to result 3 multiplied by result. In this way, you are going to write the large number of statements there, 5 in this case. If the value of a is 100, then you are going to write the 100 statements. Or you can, let me show you what I'm trying to say. You will write result equal to result multiplied by 5 if you are not going to use the loop, and then result equal to result multiplied by 4, and so on, and then 3, then 2, then. So we are doing same task again and again, and we are making our code too lengthy. So what we can use is, we can automate this system. We can automate this system, and the automation will be done by looping. And let's try to implement the loop. The only loop that we have read until now is the while loop. So we will try to implement this while loop. So while there will be some condition here, I will not write it now. I'll write in a few seconds, and the body of the while loop, and that is it. Okay. Now inside the body of the loop, I want result is equal to result multiplied by, let's say, a. The value of a is 5, and then let's say a minus minus, and decrease the value of a by 1. And I will write the condition here as a is greater than 0. And after that, let's write a printf statement. Printf, I will write factorial of %t is %t, and I will write a and comma result. Okay, so let's focus on this first on this. As we have seen in the slide, to start a while loop, you have to write the while keyword and then the brackets, and inside the bracket you have to insert the condition. If this condition is true, we will go inside the loop. If this condition is false, we will move outside of the loop. And every time a pass of while loop is completed, control will not get to the next statement itself. It will first check, go again and check the condition. If condition is true, it will go again, and then it will come back, and then check the condition. If it is true, it will go again. So it will keep on passing through the loop and going back and checking the condition until the condition became false. Okay, until the condition became false. If the condition became false, then it will not go inside the loop this time, and the control will be switched to the next statement after the while loop. So that is why I have written statements outside the while loop, to the statements outside the while loop. So this is what is happening here. Now this is your body of the loop. Inside the body, I want a variable result to be updated. That is, the previous value of result will be multiplied by with the value of a. A is a variable which initially has a value 5. Okay, and then I will decrement the value of a by 1. I will decrement the value of a by 1. So after one pass, the value of a will become from 5 to 4 because it will be decremented by 1. Then the control will again switch to while loop, starting of the while loop. It will again check the condition. The condition is whether the value of a is greater than 0 or not. Initially, the value of a is 5, so it is greater than 0. So this condition became true. We will go inside the loop, take one pass, decrement the value of a by 1. That is 4 minus 1 is 5 minus 1 is 4. The control will check the condition again. Now again the value of a is 4, which is greater than 0. Okay, it is greater than 0, so again this condition becomes true. Now if that is true, we have to again go inside the loop. So the control will go inside the loop. It will have its pass. It will again execute this statement, again decrement the value of a by 1. So now the value of a will become 3, that is 4 minus 1. It will again check the loop, and it will keep on doing that until the value of a is greater than 0. And when the value of a becomes greater than 0, in that case you will actually have loop terminated. That is, this condition will become false at the time when the value of a will become equal to 0. That is, the value of a is 1 in this pass, we will decrement it by 1. It will become 1 minus 1, that is 0, and 0 is actually not equal to 0. Okay, sorry, 0 is not greater than 0, it is actually equal to 0. So in that case, this condition will become false. So we will not go inside the loop. The control will be switched to this printf statement. Okay, so this is how your loop works. So let's try to implement this, and let me again printf, let me add a printf statement here which will show you printf what is happening inside the loop. So what I'll do is new line and percentage let's say d, and the value of result, and that is it. And let's also try to print the value of a here. Okay, so I will write something like in new line value of a is and a. So it will show us in real time what would be the value of a at each pass. Okay, so let's save it and try to run it. Let's see what comes out of it. Okay, now let's analyze what is happening here. I will align this. So at the first pass, the value of a is 5. Now a is greater than 0. Condition became true. We will go inside the loop. The result value of result variable will be updated. That is initial value of result, that is equal to 1 multiplied by a, that is equal to 5. So 1 multiplied 5 will become equal to 5. In the next statement printf, we have printed the value of result, that is 5 here, as you can see. Next, the value of a will be decremented. 5 will become 4, and that is what I have printed here. The value of a is 4. Okay, in the next pass again, value of a is 4 now, so 4 is greater than 0. This condition will become true. We have again got here. Now the result value will be updated. Initial value, now the value of result is actually 5. Now 5 multiplied by value of a, which is 4 now, so 5 multiplied by 4 is 20. That value will be printed. There it is, 20. Again the value of a will be decremented. It will become from 4 to 3 now. So this is what has been written here. The value of a is 3 now. Okay, again we'll go there. A has a value of 3 now. 3 is again greater than 0, so that is why this condition is true. We will again go here. Now the value of result at this moment is actually 20, so 20 multiplied by 3 will become 60, and this is what I have printed here, 60. Okay, again the value of a will be decremented by 1. From 3 it will now become 2, and this is what I have written here, printed here. The value of a is now 2. So this is showing you a pass. This 5 and value of a is 4 is one pass. This 20 value of a is 3 is actually second pass. The 60 value of a is 2 is your third pass, and then this is fourth pass, and this is fifth pass. Okay, so you have got the idea. After the value of a becomes equal to 0, that is when the value of a become 1 and it got decremented by 1, the value of a will become equal to 0, and this condition will become false. So we'll not go inside the loop at this time, and the control will switch to the next statement after the while loop, which is a printf statement. So the printf statement will be okay, I have to put a new line here. Let me put a new line here, so it will get more clear now. I think we have mixed those statements. At this time I think it's going to be clear. Yeah, so at the last pass the value of a becomes 0, as you can see, as it is decremented by 1. The value of a will be 0, and when we go again, the control will go again, check this statement. Now 0 is not greater than 0, it is actually equal to 0, so this condition will become false. As soon as this condition will become false, we will be out of the loop, or you can say the loop has been terminated. Now the next statement after the loop is a printf statement, which says factorial of percentage d, which is actually a. The factorial of a is the result. So the factorial of 0, what is okay. Now value of a has been decrementing here. So let me correct that, and after this let me insert int b is equal to a, and instead of a let me write here b, and this time I think it will be correct. Yeah, so the factorial of 5 is 120. Why I have done this? Because if I try to print the value of a here, a has been decremented by the while loop in its passes, and the last value of a is 0. That is why we have came out of the loop. But we don't want to print that. We want to print the initial value of a. So what I have done is I have also passed the initial value of a to a variable b. So b also now have 5. So the factorial of 5 is 120. And that is how you can use your loops, your while loop, to perform a specific task again and again. And the time it is going to perform a loop, or you can say how much time or how much passes is it is going to take, will depend on the condition, this condition. Now what will happen if that condition fails, if you don't insert the condition? Let's see. I will first remove this. So there is no condition. The value of a is not decremented anywhere. And if it is not decremented, so every time we are going to check the value of a, it is going to be 5. And if it is going to be 5, we will never get out of this loop. So let's try to do this. Let's say what happens now. I think we have yeah, again to do this. And let us see what is going to happen. So it, as you can see, it will keep on going. It will keep on going until I will stop this. It will keep on going. It is not going to stop. Let me tell you that. It is not going to stop, because this loop will go for infinite time, because this condition is never going to be false, because a's value of a is 5 and you are not decrementing it. So the value of a will remain forever equal to 5, and 5 will always remain greater than 0. So we will never get out of this while loop, and these are called infinite loops. So you have to be extremely cautious that your loop must not result in an infinite loop. So the condition is must, the updation of the condition is must. So I think you have got the idea. I have shown you the working of the while loop, and I have also shown you what will happen if you don't update the condition. That is, if you don't go for while go towards the path of decrementing your some variable, which will result in the falsifying this condition at some point. It will result in infinite loop if you don't do that. So please be careful with that, and I'm going to end this lecture now. Thank you.